The first part of this that I am very excited about, new thing that I'm trying for these dungeons to help make it a more diverse experience for each party, for each playthrough, is going to be the 4 scenario rolls. Each one of you are allowed to roll a d4. And the order, I guess, that you guys roll them here in the Roll20 is the order that I'll take them in. Each one of these is going to affect something throughout this adventure. So each of you can go ahead and roll a d4. There we go. Okay, that first one, oh, nice. Okay, very nice. Oh, right. Oh, that's still good. Oh, yeah, okay. 3, okay, so that's 3. Very good. That's going to be 2, 4, 4,
I don't
3.
see.
Which makes it even better in every way possible. Oh my gosh. Because those are all options that haven't been rolled by the 2 parties that have already started, the 2 teams that have already started. So, the first of these rolls, Smarty, HK77, you rolled a 2, and this is going to be the first and only one you know about right away. You rolled a 2, which determines the hook for your party and how they came upon this dungeon. The hook for you is HK77 received a vision that showed them various clues on the path into the far side of the Opkesh Desert, to the location that this ancient tomb should be, and it revealed to you the great challenges and treasures that should be there if your party decides to venture inside. So it was a vision. Were you a paladin, right?
Yep.
So it could have been a vision sent by your deity or otherwise that gave you various clues on the path to this crypt in the desert, and it's from there that you decided to gather your allies and venture out into the Opkesh Desert. That's that first scenario roll, the hook there. Now, at this point, The 4 of you have been traveling probably about 3 days out of the city of Opkesh, which is the largest city in the region. The region is known for having fairly significant oases, deltas, flooding, that make it quite lush in certain areas, certain regions of the desert. But the clues you've been following to bring you out to this desert crypt, the various landmarks, you found that you've been heading further out into the side of the desert where it is just completely dry, and there are fewer and farer bodies of water in between. This oasis that you've come up to now on the road is the largest oasis you've seen in probably your entire day of travel at this point, and it's one that appeared to you, HK77, in your vision, as the oasis you must depart from the road from in order to make it to the desert crypt. Your party is all out here with each other under the hot sun, freshly arrived at this oasis.
All right, so this is where our adventure begins. So we're going to need to find the entrance to the dungeon around here somewhere, I guess.
So we have to go into the dungeon?
Well, we're not quite there yet. We're at our first clue, what direction to go to find it, right?
Yes. You remember from your vision, HK77, that this oasis is the final one on your path before you must depart from the more well-traveled roads, deeper into the desert.
Do we know which direction to go into the desert?
Away from the water, away from the oasis, into the more dire parts of the desert.
So, real quick, should the rest of us just assume that we know these things that HK77 knows? Like, should we just assume he's sharing it with the party?
You do all know, kind of metagame-wise, out of character, these things. It's up to HK77 and the rest of you how you want to role-play how this information might be being shared, or if you just want to assume that it's something they've already told you.
So I'm comfortable with the fact that I had this vision of the dungeon, and I shared it with the rest of you, and we all decided to go and explore and act on this.
Wayne's going to go, yes, water, and I'm going to go to the oasis and I'm going to check it out. I'm going to inspect it.
Yeah, very nice.
See if the water's clear and safe and delicious.
You can make an investigation check. Wandering off the road over towards the oasis.
Can I do that too?
Absolutely. It's life-affirming water in the middle of the desert.
So how do I know that it's life-affirming water?
Well, you can both make investigation checks. So, Wayne, we're probably going to take that first one, that 14. Yeah, perfect.
Like that?
You both got, yeah, absolutely perfect. You both got those investigation rolls, you both got 14s. So you wander over to the water, and you can pretty much tell right away this is a fairly alive part of the desert. The water is nice and clear and crisp. You can see right through it, and you can see the various fishes swimming around underneath the surface, as well as different insects all wandering along the shoreline there. The water is fairly shallow near where you're standing, but it definitely gets deeper as you go further out. But it's definitely fresh, crisp, clear water. You can just drink right out of the oasis and you shouldn't have any issues.
Yeah, I would like to do that and go ahead and probably have an empty canteen at this point, and I'd like to refill that as well.
Yeah, very good. Excellent decision. You refill all your water containers for your quest further into the desert.
I suggest we stay alert. Prey brings predators, and it seems like there's a lot of prey around here.
Indeed.
I'd like to take a look around and see if there's any other notable landmarks in the area, particularly in the direction that we know that we need to go.
Certainly. Go ahead. Roll a... I'm going to say either a perception or a survival check. Your choice.
Okay, I'm going to go with perception. So my modifier is +3.
So that'll come out to a 14 total. You look around the desert. Looking around, you see lots of, sand dunes, especially away from the oasis, the desert. Out in various directions, of course, there are things like mesas and mountains of sandstone. Tall structures in the distance. Nothing that jumps out to you as something that could be a part of this dungeon that you're looking for. Just kind of the natural landscapes at this point.
Did my vision give us any clues beyond just go into the desert away from the oasis?
It helped you, so coming outside of the Opkesh region, it dropped a few clues about the city to go to, the roads to pass through, to turn away from this oasis, and the direction you should be going, which would be, southwest. That's approximately
Well,
what
HK,
it is.
Yep.
I suggest you lead the way.
Let's go. Lead the way.
Very good. Something that Blue does notice as you all begin to move forward, you note that although there isn't a widespread sandstorm, there does appear to be collections of smaller localized storms like dust devils kind of moving across the distance, and you see these kind of every time your group passes up over a dune. You see these dust devils moving around in the distance.
All right.
And
So I'm going to go ahead and lead the party to the south.
Very good. The party all begins to move to the southwest. You spend a few hours traveling over the dunes. All together. So, traveling through the desert for several hours. Through the dunes, over the dunes, watching the dust devils in the distance. You do eventually come across what appears to be kind of a small, decrepit ruin along the path.
Is there a trap inside this half circle of the ruin?
A trap, you can go ahead and make a perception or an investigation check of your choice to determine that.
I would also like to...
So I rolled a 16, so what does that mean?
A 16, well, the two of you going over to investigate, it was Maahes and it was Wayne. Or were you just looking for general traps, Wayne, or over in that semicircle?
I'm looking around for traps or any clues as to, what this ruin is, what might have been here.
Yeah. Nice. So
things like that as well.
Maahes, over at that semicircle on the far side of the ruins, looking around for traps with your 16. Yeah, you don't appear to find anything that could be hazardous, dangerous, anything that looks like it might activate if you get too close. It seems to just be kind of a decrepit old ruin. Wayne, with your 24 investigation, looking all around this ruin, you can tell that a long time ago, at the least, it might have been some kind of domicile, a little place where somebody was living. You can see a few discarded items, kind of under the layers of sand that have accrued from the sandstorms. You see like a fork or maybe like a little straw doll down there. But it's clearly been quite a long time. Long abandoned, long decrepit, in ruin. Yeah, the sand's blowing against it, knocking it over quite a long time. If you were going to guess, you would probably say it's at least a decade old, but probably even older than that. What you do notice, however, kind of looking around the inside and the outside, you're going to see something in the sand over here. And it looks roughly like something pretty big. I guess more like giant hoof prints in the sand leading away from this structure.
Where I'm at right now?
Yeah, do you see, sorry, I chose kind of a sandy color to draw those in.
I can see them. They're going right from the character.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Let me choose a different there, something like that. Kind of
Before we follow that, is there anything vision related that might help us with any clues now that we've reached this ruin?
You want to look around for clues as to the desert crypt?
The vision that I received, I mean, it led me in this direction. Is this... Do I get the impression this is my destination, or it's nearby, or this is just another step in the journey?
Yeah, to you, this is another step in the journey. Actually, through your vision, you would have been revealed a couple small things, such as that the ruin is, well, first off, it's massive. Sorry, it's not a ruin, it's a crypt. This is the ruin. The crypt that you are searching for is supposed to be massive, quite an impressive structure sticking out in the desert that you should know when you come across it. You do also know that the primary person entombed in this crypt was along the lines of kind of a great warrior back in his day. Sorry, that was another detail you would have known there. But yeah, this little ruin out here in the desert, this is just kind of an old house decaying in the sand. It is most certainly not your destination. But it does offer a momentary respite from the sun's rays and the sand billowing about.
I'd like to, as Blue, I'd like to engage in HK77 real quick.
Sure.
So I want to ask about the details of because you said you saw visions of the treasure. Are you able to give any details about what the treasure was? Is it like this guy's old equipment or something, or his treasure?
Is it the friends we made along the way?
Always yes.
I would provide that information. Yeah, I would gladly share,
Yeah, so
What the shiny?
because of the main person entombed in this crypt was a great warrior back in his day, he did amass great wealth. And actually, if you want to make a religion check, HK77.
It's a religion check.
It's another skill check, but this one is more knowledge-based. Oh, okay. What's your modifier on that as a paladin?
0.
Okay. Well, you should know at the very least... You should know that, yeah, so this great warrior from decades and decades ago, this great tomb that he built was built to protect his body as well as his immeasurable wealth from his lifetime, which should come in all the classic forms. All the gold coins, all the gold bars, all the gemstones, all the magical items, but definitely also the friends you made along the way.
I'd like to go ahead and start investigating these hoof tracks.
Sure.
Am I able to determine what kind of creature left these things besides a hoofed creature? Does it seem? Is it bipedal perchance, or is it quadrupedal? Would I be able to tell the difference between a centaur and a regular horse?
So you can tell... Well, first, let's go ahead. I think I'm going to have you make either an investigation or a survival check here. Or even a nature check. Any of those, your choice.
And so, the advantage comes from I automatically get advantage when trying to track Fays, Fiends, or Undead, and so that's why I roll 20 or D&D Beyond's doing that.
I see. Okay.
Oh.
So it isn't any of those creatures, but you did get that first 23. So yeah, looking at these tracks, you can pretty quickly tell it is a bipedal creature, and it is probably like 3 times the size of any of you.
So you know its size, but you don't know any more details about it?
I know that it's a very heavy. It's a creature heavy enough to make these big prints in the sand.
Yeah.
Can you see it from the distance?
I look around.
Sure, make a perception check.
Me or
Me, because I'm the one that said I look
yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait, why is HK 77 rolling?
Because I want to
Is
look
she rolling?
too.
You want to look around too? So...
Wait,
Yes?
can we all look around then?
Yeah, I
But
suppose that's fine.
So I wanted
Well-
to be cheeky really quick before you guys start doing all your thing. Let me resolve my quick look around. You asked me a question,
Yeah.
So
and then
from
I
where
rolled for it.
Yeah, a quick
Uh-huh.
glance around. You don't see any. Yeah, you don't really see any creatures except for perhaps a couple shadows up in the sky. Blue sees these as well, but none of you see anything that could be the creature that made this.
No, I don't see it.
You do not.
Oh, I see how that goes. So I thank you, Buddha.
Okay, I'm a little curious about the description of shadows in the sky.
Of course, that's an interesting thing.
Because shadows typically are projected onto surfaces and objects.
Well, from this angle, of course, the sun... Well, it's past noon. It's probably like 3 in the afternoon, but the sun still is high in the sky, which makes these small, almost... They're little winged figures. That's about all you can tell from them. They might be birds up high. That's all you really see when you glance up at these.
Okay.
Is this where the tracks end?
No, actually, they do keep going in that direction.
All right, I am
Terrible.
I'm suspecting that these might belong to a minotaur or something very similar to creatures such as that. HK, do you recall anything related to this within your vision?
I don't know. Let me pray to Helm and see what he tells me.
Can minotaurs get that large, though? Because he said 3 times our size, and my character is 6'4".
Minotaurs can be pretty big.
HK, going back through the details of your vision, they mostly pertain to the directions to the crypt and the treasures and obstacles that you might find inside. It didn't specify any creatures that might be wandering around the Apkesh desert.
Yeah, I don't think this is related to what's going on. We can continue to investigate, but I think we should push on towards the crypt.
But why not take glory along the way? Let's see what creature lies at the end of these tracks.
I agree.
We don't need to seek out violence.
Well, Wayne decides to saunter off in the direction of the tracks. One of those winged shadows from the sky kind of swoops down and lands not too far from where you're standing, kind of at the edge of a couple of these dunes, and it kind of sits there.
What is it?
Well, it's kind of far off in the distance at this point. You can make... let's see. It's about... Yeah, 25 feet from anybody who's close to it. So because it's kind of a really small thing, really low to the ground, and it appears to be kind of almost the same color as the sand, you can't make out exactly what it is from the distance, but you could make either a perception or an investigation check from that distance with disadvantage if you would like, or if you'd like to do something else.
Am I allowed to approach it?
Absolutely.
I'd like to do a perception check.
Nugs, you can't really tell any details from where you are, but Maahes, you can go ahead and approach.
So then I'm going to walk right up to it and kill it then, right?
Oh yeah?
Or no?
Sure, if that's what you want to do.
Is that what we're supposed to do? I mean, I'm not too sure what the objective is here.
You're not sure what this creature is.
Nobody's sure what.
Okay, so if I walk up to the item, what is the item?
Yeah, so now that you're standing right next to it, it's almost like a little... It's got these long, kind of bat-like wings, and a long pointy nose, pointed ears, but it seems like, almost, looking at this creature, it appears to be made out of sand, even though it's looking up at you and it blinks at you, kind of curiously. It has little wings, it has a long, crooked nose, but it's made out of sand.
Okay. Am I familiar with this creature?
You can go ahead and make an Arcana check. That's just roll a D20 for that, and then you don't have a modifier for that, so it'll just be a straight D20.
Okay, so I rolled a 16. So what does that mean?
16. You might have actually, at least just from looking at it, you can't tell precisely what this creature is, but it does appear to be elemental in nature, since it is made from the sand, and you can kind of see its sandy form shifting around before you. Its wings are made of sand, even though it's moving like wings. Its eyes are made of sand, even though it's blinking.
Should I kill it?
Would you like to?
I don't know. What do my other teammates think I should do?
You shouldn't kill it.
Okay.
I don't see a reason to kill it.
While you're consulting your teammates, it's going to go ahead. It flaps its little sand wings and flies up into the sky alongside the two other shadows that looked just like it.
Now it's going to go get its friends and we're going to get attacked.
I have a question, HK. Do we know how long ago, how long this crypt has been here? How long ago did this guy die? Do you know that?
For that one, if you want to answer that, HK, you can make a religion check.
Oh, geez.
Okay, so, no problem. From your vision, you remember at least, it was a few decades at the very least, but you also know that this region is much, much older than that. It's had very rich and powerful figures for hundreds of years. But you know this crypt, it's not recent. It might even be more than half a century or so, just kind of based off the vision that you had.
Okay, so is it possible that maybe this crypt is buried under the sand somewhere?
My vision is of a grand crypt in the desert. It should be very obvious when we get there.
Big pointy one.
I wonder
we just
if
need to quit playing with the sand ducks and the hoofy things and get there.
Okay, well let's keep following the hoofy things then and go to the next screen.
So, you're all continuing deeper into the desert. As you come around one of the sand dunes, there's a large creature, a massive creature, hunched over, facing away from you all. You can see its cloven hooves even from this angle, however. And there's a large club in the sand beside it, but it is facing away from you at this time. You can't tell what it's doing currently. But it is massive, at least 15 feet high, if not higher.
Has it noticed us?
It has not. It is facing away from you.
Is it dead or alive?
It is most certainly alive. You can see it moving its arms and its head, and it's probably making kind of a low growling
Whenever
sound.
this is, it's feeding, and, it's probably not good to interrupt mealtime.
Do we know what kind of being this is?
I want to kill it. Let's kill it. Engage.
You can go ahead and roll initiative.
So Can I go back into stealth mode then?
Yeah, you can make a stealth check. Well, that's great.
Oh, I rolled a 20.
A natural
Very
20.
nice. So you're very, very,
Yay!
very
And then
stealthy.
so I rolled a 20 plus. So I have 30 stealth. Okay, so 30 stealth, and then what
Yeah.
else? What do I do now?
That's a great check. All right, so first, is going to be Mess, Wayne, HK, and Blue. Let me just roll a quick.
Oh, yeah, I'll just wait for you all to get murdered and then I'll kill it.
Good strategy.
No, I'm a pretty tough thing. I can do a lot of damage. Levi helped me make the character pretty damn good.
Yeah, nice. It's a good character. Alright, so from there, it is going to be Mess's turn first, but because this creature hasn't noticed you yet, that does give you kind of a surprise round on this creature. So you can go ahead, you can move up to 30 feet from where you are. It's going to be 6 squares. Yeah, so you should be able to get any of those spots you would like. You can use that little ruler tool. Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
So if you would like, you can go ahead and move up next to that creature, and you can make an attack, if you would like.
Yes, I could do a sneaky attack, right?
Indeed.
Sneaky attack. Okay.
Very sneaky.
I jump up to the character and I'm going to go, bam, bam, sneak. Let me shank you with my Reaper.
Very good, and you can make a attack check with advantage. You have not activated the fire quality, though. I believe, does that take a bonus action?
It does.
Okay, so if you do, so it would just be like, flame on, and then your sword lights on flame.
Ooh, I get to say flame on,
Would that interrupt stealth though?
It's your choice. Well, it would make it harder to be noticed, but because you are in the desert, everything's kind of hot and bright already. So I'm going to say for this specific instance, it doesn't affect it, but you get to decide. It can be flame on, or it can be whatever other command words you want to speak to make it happen.
Ignite.
Okay. Well, yeah, ignite.
Ignite, nice. So if you want to do
Ignite. So should I roll a second time?
Yeah, roll another d20 plus 7, and we'll say that you're nice. So because you had advantage, because you were sneak attacking, we are going to take that first roll because it is higher. So you're going to get a 25 to hit, which means you do very much hit. You can go ahead and roll for damage.
Oh, that was a shitty roll.
You get 5 points. Well, don't worry here. You're about to deal a lot of damage. So you deal 5 points just from the pointy part of your rapier. That's what that 5 points come from. Now you can go ahead and roll 2d6.
Luke, does her assassinate ability come into play here since she is attacking in a surprise round?
It does, yeah. So we can add another, how I have been doing critical hits, kind of my homebrew rule for that, is that you just take a maximum value of the regular, oh shit, motherfuck, that's going to be a lot of damage.
Yay, did I kill it?
Maybe.
You did one happy mess.
One shot critical hit, yes! I win! Right, we win?
Maybe.
Does he drop a chest? He drops. I just want to open the chest. I want it to go like ba-da-ding. Sorry.
Fantastic.
Okay. Sorry.
So you're gonna get. It's gonna be that 5 plus an 8. Damn. I gotta look up the rules for this one because that's gonna be messy. My oh my.
Kuda made me do it.
Don't blame this on me.
What is with this bloodlust?
That's what my character's supposed to do. Have you read my story?
No.
Oh, so
I didn't know you had a story to read.
I do. I went deep into my character. Like, she's got So,
You don't have to tell me your backstory right now, Patricia.
Well, I want to while he's looking it up. So, Maahes is the daughter of Bastet. Bastet is the lion goddess of protection and warfare.
Excellent.
And her consort for Maahes, which is Maahes' daughter is Pa, the man who made himself a god. So those are Maahes' parents. So you can just imagine. And then she is a noble descent. Yes, she is of noble birth, so she has a position of privilege. And despite her noble birth, she does not place herself above other folk. Independent, she feels like she has to prove herself because she's chaotic and she wishes to attain more power. And she has an insatiable desire for carnal pleasures, and the world revolves around her. So, yay!
Nice.
That's the
Look
part
at
I
that.
helped her with. I take
Nice.
credit for that part.
And I am chaotic evil.
Oh my.
So I'm the
Interesting.
exact.
I see.
I am the exact opposite of Smarty,
You
or
can go ahead.
HK Sony.
I will need one more roll. It's going to be 3d6 for your sneak attack.
Okay. Roll 3d6 for sneaky attack. Oh, that was low.
That's going to bring you up with your critical hit, your assassination critical hit. You charge over. You take your flaming rapier. You shout ignite mid-thrust. You jump up, and you're just barely able to jump up and stab kind of into the back of this creature's waist, even as it's hunched over. But you stab very deep. The fire from your sword kind of shoots out across the surface of this creature's lower back, singeing off hairs, burning skin, as the rapier plunges deep into its lower back. You kind of hear, you almost just hear a snap as the creature's entire body kind of takes shape straight up from its crouching position to a full standing position. And it lets out a deep, loud from this single stab. You deal a grand total of 58 points of damage.
Woo! 58. Does that kill it? How much life does it have?
You
He
withdraw
can't tell
your
us that.
rapier as it's roaring, and it turns around on its heels. The top of your head doesn't even come to this thing's waist, but from that attack, it turns around. You can see in the middle of its face, it actually only has one large beady eye that's darting around angrily, trying to see what happened. It does just have the one eye. It is a cyclops. It's dropped. It appears to have been eating some kind of camel or something that it drops as it grabs its great club into its hand and turns around, now facing all of you. From there, it is going to be Wayne's turn.
I am going to draw my greatsword, and I'm going to charge at it and make an attack. I believe I just barely make it with my 30 movement if I go as the crow flies.
Yeah, one of those spots. Very nice. And you can go ahead and make your...
And then I'm going to make an attack action.
Sweet deal. Very cool. So now that it is actually looking in your direction. It's paying more attention to you. As you're charging towards it, its single eye tracks you across the sand, but you do take your great sword and you manage to cleave cleanly into its leg. Go ahead and roll for damage. Alright, so you roll a 5 plus a 1 plus 4, so you deal 10 points of damage, cutting into the Cyclops' leg. Now, at this point, I'm uncertain if you guys realize this, but this thing is furious. You can see every vein from head to toe that isn't hidden by its loincloth, its bracers, or its heavy patches of fur. Just the veins popping out as it's screaming, and it looks... Its massive bulging eye, you cut into its leg, Wayne, and you slide your sword back out of the leg, but that doesn't even seem to faze it. Its massive eye scans down to Maahes.
I'm going to activate my Crimson Right.
Ooh.
which
Right, you're
is
a blood hunter is what that's called. Let me see what that does.
I roll
I see.
a hemocraft die, and does that much damage to me. And then, as long as I'm holding this blade, I will do an additional 1d6 lightning damage. So I take 1
Oh.
point of damage,
All right. Wow.
and now I'm going to attack with my Crimson Right Greatsword.
Sure, go for it. Yeah, nice. So you are going to hit with this second attack. You're going to deal 13 points of slashing damage, and you deal 3 more points on top of that, so you deal 16 more points of damage to the Cyclops. My oh my. So, from there...
And
take...
from my great sword of wounding, at the start of his turn, he has to make a con save.
It says once per turn you can wound the creature. So it'll take 1d4
Okay, I didn't see that. And that 4 would be the damage that he takes if he fails the con save.
It says, start of each of the wounded creature's turns, it takes 1d4 damage for each time you've wounded it, and then it can make a DC 15 saving throw to end the effects of the wounds. Otherwise, they're going to accrue over time.
Yeah.
So you deal 1 more point of damage, and it will go ahead and make that Constitution a saving throw. And what does it have to beat? 15, you said?
15.
Okay, so it does end. You slash it a couple times in the leg, and blood kind of spurts out the side from the wound you inflicted, but then it pretty quickly stops bleeding after that. And so, on its turn, although you did slash into its legs a couple of times, its large, beady, bulging eye instead looks down at Maahes as it makes a great club attack.
Oh no!
So it rolls, it got a 6 plus a 9, and your AC is 15, so that means its attack successfully connects with you. You will take... You're going to take 25 points of bludgeoning damage.
Patricia, do you have any reactions that might deal with that?
I think so. Let me see. I have Uncanny Dodge. When an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to half the attacker's damage against you. So I use Uncanny Dodge. Boom.
Very good. So, instead of 25 damage, you are going to take 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
So now can the other 2 players attack?
Well,
if
actually,
they want to,
the Cyclops isn't done yet. You do manage to jump out of the way, just barely, of the Cyclops' attack. It more hits your shoulder and your side than anything as you jump out of the way. But kind of in the same swing, so it swings down and barely strikes against your side. It kind of brings its arm up in a full arc as it swings it back down at you once again. It makes its second attack.
Can I dodge a second time?
You have already used your reaction. This time it gets a 13 plus a 9, bringing it to a total of 22, meaning it does successfully connect. It's going to be... $22 points of bludgeoning damage this time. You take 22 more points of damage.
So why does it have a +6? And why is it a 3d8?
Well, it's a huge creature, so it's wielding a huge great club. The club actually itself is bigger than your entire body. Then, on top of it, it has a strength score of 22, which means it has a strength modifier of +6, which it adds to all of its melee attacks.
Oh, okay.
Kitty goes.
So then I have to do -22 then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first strike, you managed to almost completely dodge out of the way, only taking part of a hit against your side. But what you didn't expect was that second arc of the great club coming back down and striking you full force just in your front. The impact actually does send you a few feet back, prone into the sand. And you have taken, it was the 12 plus the 22, so you took 34 points of damage total. And you're now lying back there in the sand on the ground. But that will be, well, what else can I do? No, that'll be the Cyclops' turn. It just took those couple of swings against you. Kind of revenge for that vicious first assassination strike. Following that, though, it is going to be HK77's turn.
Okay. I am going to start off by casting Compelled Duel.
Very nice. Does it make a saving throw against that, or?
They make a Wisdom saving throw.
Hey, that's
On
good.
a failed save, the creature...
Yeah, this creature isn't very wise. So it's going to make a quick... Oh yeah, look at that. What is your spell save DC? Oh, wow. That is better than I anticipated. It has to beat a Wisdom 14, and it rolled an 18. Although it's not a wise creature, it did get that -2, but 16 is still higher than the DC for that spell. So it is not compelled to fight you. It's still pretty... You can see, even as you cast Compel Duel on this Cyclops, its massive bulging eye is still almost primarily focused on Maahes over there in the sand. You still have your movement, however.
Okay, can I reach in between him and her?
That's about 30 feet from where you are. Those
All right.
spots on very
Looks
good.
like that's about the best
Yeah.
I can do.
That works perfectly. Following that, it is going to be Blue's turn. I think this fight is awesome so far. Oh, so this is actually going back to the scenario rolls. Levi, you rolled a 4, which means the creature or creatures stirring in the desert today is in fact a Cyclops. I'm sorry, that is not your roll, but Nugs' roll. Your roll determined the terrain today, which is the dust devils you've seen out and about in the desert.
Oh, okay. Steven, it's your turn.
Okay, so it looks like I'm a little far. So, sorry, my thumb is under that. Is that next to the Cyclops, or is that one square short?
That's next to it. It takes up 3 squares by 3 squares.
I'm gonna move there first. Okay, and then I'm going to do 2 attacks followed by a bonus action of another attack.
Very good.
So my first 2 attacks are going to be with my spear.
That will connect. You can go ahead and roll your damage.
That 3 plus 7 is my damage.
You deal 10 points of piercing damage with your first attack.
That's low roll. Does that hit?
A 13, so you stab with your spear the first time into its leg. As you withdraw it and move to stab again, it just barely moves its hoof out of the way, and you stab into air, missing it.
Okay. My bonus action is going to be my polearm master, where I hit with the blunt end of the spear.
Nice. Yeah, hell yeah. Go for that. Yeah, you're going to hit with
For
that
the-
with the base of your magic spear. It's going to be 1d4 plus 5. So you deal 6 more points of damage with the blunt end of your spear. 6 points of bludgeoning
What is with
damage.
these rolls?
Alright. So, following that, at the end of Blue's turn, that is the end of the first initiative round. It is now the beginning of round 2. And the first thing you all notice here is that those shadowy figures in the sky have encircled this little skirmish, and they are now moving in.
I told you I should have killed him before we did the Cyclops, but no.
I'm sure you have a pretty good view of what's going on from your back, right?
So this one is going to swoop down by your group, and it's going to release, well, pocket sand is the meme, but it's going to swoop down and it's going to exhume a cone of just a sandy burst out of its mouth right at eye level into all your eyes here. Now, are Warforged immune to the blinded condition? That's
I
something.
don't believe so. Poison and disease.
Okay, but you can definitely be blinded.
No, we have advantage versus poison, if I recall.
Advantage versus poison. Okay, but nothing with blinding. So I'm going to need all three of you, unless Wayne has something.
I don't
Oh, it's
believe
resistance.
so. No.
No problem.
It's
So
an
you're all
advantage and a resistance to poison.
nice. Not going to get poisoned anytime soon. So you each have to make a dexterity saving throw. All right, Wayne is fine.
Okay, so how do I do it?
HK77. You're fine, Maahes, because you are not in this 15-foot cone. It's just the three of them. So HK77 and Wayne are fine, but Blue now is blinded. The sand gets into the magical sensors that form your Warforged eyes. The very fine grains of sand, they're very coarse, irritating, and they're getting everywhere. And it has blinded you. For at least, well, for the time being, you are blinded. That is that first creature that swoops down out of the sky, and following that, it will be Mess's turn.
So we don't get to see the HP or anything of the character, right?
No.
Okay. I do have a bow and arrow. Can I attack using my bow?
Yeah, it's going to take 15 feet of your movement to stand up. And then you
What?
can move
Okay.
15 feet from there. Which
Okay,
would still
so
be any of these.
okay. How far? What's the distance on my bow? I have a short bow.
Oh, it's much longer than that. Your bow should be able to go like 60 feet at least, or even further than that.
Oh, awesome. I didn't realize that. That's awesome. Okay. So I think I'm going to stand up. And let me see. You said 15 feet. So let me see. And you said I can go up to 60 feet, right?
Half
On
your
the bow.
movement.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get up and then I'm going to move to this square. And then I'm going to go ahead and attack the Cyclops with my short bow.
Very nice.
Do I
That's
have-
going to be... Oh, sorry.
Do I have to equip like arrows or something? Because I already equipped arrows, but like
Yeah, your arrows, they're just like in your quiver on your side or something. You pull one out, you notch it in your bow, and you can roll a d20 plus 7 to hit.
ooh. Come on, baby, give me a good roll. Oh, that is a shitty roll.
You've rolled a 3 plus 7. So you whip the arrow out of your quiver, you notch it, you pull back the drawstring, and let it loose. It flies through the air, past the Cyclops' head. It doesn't even notice because it has its one little eye. Actually, it probably tracked you, so you shot at it, at its head, but it doesn't watch because it just has the one eye for paying attention. It shoots past his head while its eye is still glaring quite angrily at you. So that is your turn. You miss with that attack. Following that, these other two... This one is actually going to move right over here and do that same thing that the last one did. It's going to go ahead and unleash that blinding sand breath at the three of you. So, yep, very good. Wayne is fine. If you could make that save again.
Hey.
HK77. Oh, you're fine too. So, doesn't do anything.
Do I even
there.
need to roll again? Because I'm already blind.
I was going to think about it. I was thinking about it, but I decided no. But then this other one is going to kind of circle around the head of this Cyclops. And from where it is going to... Alright. That's going to be... What are all your current hit points?
I'm at 59.
Okay, that's fine.
84.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so Maahes, you are this creature circling around the Cyclops' head. It's going to go ahead and cast Sleep. It rolled 25 on its roll for that, and since you only have 20 hit points, you're just going to go ahead and fall asleep. This is a spell being cast on you, or rather, it's an innate magical ability of this creature. Kind of, bum 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 bum.
So how do the creatures decide who they target, or you just decide who they target as the GM?
I do decide who they target, but I try to make it reasonable for, what's going on in the game. Of course, this Cyclops was pretty fucking pissed at all that damage you did to it, kind of lighting its ass on fire. That's why it was targeting you. These two other little dusty creatures, they went ahead and they targeted, of course, your party members, but this last one now, flying around the head of the Cyclops, it cast a spell that targets the enemy with the lowest health. And because that is you, you're the one that is affected by the sleep spell.
Okay. So how many turns does a sleep spell go through?
It's unknown to you at this point. So kind of just where you're standing, your head drops, your eyes close, and then I guess you kind of topple over on your side. Of course, your allies are aware of this. Yeah, you drop your bow out of your hand, and you're technically affected by the unconscious condition. So you just fall down asleep there in the sand. Following that, it is going to be Wayne's turn.
Before I start, I'm going to shout out to my companions that we need to spread out, and you two take care of these sand creatures. This big one's mine. And then I'm going to just move a little bit over here, so we're a little bit more spread out. Then I'm going to make my 2 attacks with my greatsword.
Nice. Go for it.
Oof. At least it wasn't a 1.
No problem.
Hey!
Very good. Yeah, so that first strike, you kind of swing wide while you're taking that step over, and it doesn't manage to connect, but then you get a nice, solid slash into the Cyclops' leg with your second one. Go ahead and roll for that. So you deal 12 points of slashing damage.
And I would also like...
1 point of damage is the lightning, right?
Yes. And I would also like to use a brand of castigation. Whenever I damage a creature with my Crimson Right feature, I can choose to sear an arcane brand of Hemocrap onto it. You always know the direction of the branded creature, and each time the branded creature deals damage to you or a creature you can see within 5 feet of you, the creature suffers 3 psychic damage.
Yeah, very nice. And you just do that automatically. Very nice. So, as you slash into its leg, I'm not sure what this brand looks like. I mean, you can decide whatever it looks like, but just the magic, it magically sears into the leg of the creature, right into its thigh, high above its hooves and its knee, but you can see it quite clearly burned deep into its skin. Yeah, so now you know magically.
I mean, he's kind of hard to miss anyways.
Yeah. And you deal that 13 points of damage, 12 slashing, and 1 lightning damage. And that is your turn, correct? Unless you want to go ahead and move some more.
Yeah, I'll go here.
So, stepping over there, you actually will be moving out of the range of that dust creature behind you, and it's going to be able to take a quick swipe.
Okay. Yeah, sure. That'll be fine.
Very well. And that's actually in the space of the Cyclops where you had stepped. It takes up 3 squares by 3 squares. This other dust creature is only in the same space because it's high enough above it. It's flying around in the air. Does that space work where you are now?
Sure.
All right. So it's going to get that quick little swipe at you. Just a quick... Yeah, so it swings its dusty claws, but you pretty deftly duck out of the way. Nothing to be concerned about. Following that, it will be the Cyclops' turn. It's going to go ahead and take that 4 points of damage from your... And then it's going to make that Constitution saving throw to see if it can stave off that wound. That's going to be... No, it does not. Wait, is your thing 14 or 15? It's 15, right? Yeah.
My thing, yeah, it's 15.
So, it does not, which means the wound near your brand of castigation is very much intact. It will persist until the Cyclops' next turn, and it will take damage because of that. Alright, so from there, it is the Cyclops' turn. And while he was focused on Maahes, at this point he is much more alert to the creatures right at his feet that are cutting into his legs and stabbing into his legs. And he is going to go ahead and make a Great Club attack against Wayne.
With a migraine.
Yeah, oh yeah. So, with its roll, it rolls a 14, which would have hit you anyway, but then its +9 brings that all the way up to a 23, which means its attack hits you just square in your front-facing entire body area. Of course, this Great Club is bigger than your body, so it's able to strike you quite hard. You're going to take 11 points of bludgeoning damage. That's not so bad.
And then he takes 3.
That's true, yeah. From the brand castigation. As his Great Club impacts you, the brand is gonna flash for a moment, burning into his leg even deeper, dealing that additional 3 points of damage. And following that, as his Great Club swings up into the air, he's gonna bring it down in another arc towards Blue, who is blinded, so he does not see it coming, which gives the Cyclops advantage on that attack.
So I'm being attacked?
Ooh. Fuck. Yes, you are. And because he had advantage, he rolled twice, and he managed to get a critical hit with his second attack. So he is going to deal... Let's see. A total of 40 points of damage, impacting you with his Great Club and sending you flying about 10 feet back, prone into the sand. Blinded, you almost have no idea what's going on, except that you do have the context before you were blinded that there was a Cyclops, but the impact of the Great Club sends you into the air momentarily before you fall back onto the ground prone, taking 40 points of bludgeoning damage. This beast is enraged, of course. It was just feasting. Wayne, you can see pretty clearly now the discarded remains, flesh and bone of a camel over here. So that is going to be the end of the Cyclops' turn. Following that, it is going to be HK's turn.
All right.
Oh, wait, and he took another 3 points when he attacked Blue as well, right?
That is correct.
Nice. And it is HK's turn.
All right. I think I'm going to start by moving over here.
All right, that's going to provoke an attack of opportunity from this creature that was behind you. Is that all right?
Actually, before I move, I want to do... Oh, let's go ahead and attack first. I'm going to attack the Cyclops.
Very good. You can go ahead.
Actually, correction. I'm going to use my bonus action first to activate Wrathful Smite.
Very good.
Okay, now I'm going to attack the Cyclops.
Right on. With a 16, you are able to hit it squarely wherever you're trying to. That's below its abs, basically.
Since I rolled a hit, I'm going to also activate Divine Smite with the second rank spell slot.
Very good.
Then for Wrathful Smite roll. Hold on, what's my Warhammer is 1d8 plus 1. And then the Divine Smite.
Yeah.
The Divine Smite is 3d8.
Very nice. 16 plus 7, that's going to be 23 points of damage. So with that attack, you only deal 14 more points of damage, smashing in, basically tearing the whole leg off with the force of bludgeoning at this point from all the cuts that Wayne had made into the Cyclops' leg. This final blow from your Warhammer tears the leg clean off, and it sends the Cyclops tumbling over onto its front, face down into the sand, and it lets out a low groan before keeling over.
Okay.
Hooray.
Now, yeah. All right.
We won!
We still have to deal with the birds.
I know, but we beat the Cyclops thingy.
Yeah.
So I should get a treasure chest, and it should go ba-da-da-ding.
Let's start by finishing the fight. So I'm gonna attack the bird thing just beneath me now.
Yeah.
Well, who is supposed to be the healer and heal me and get me out of the sleepy thingy?
I have a bonus attack, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
let's finish combat.
Okay.
Yeah, go for that.
That's my I hesitated, but that's my hit roll.
Let me see there. Oh yeah, that's more than enough to hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
There's the Warhammer damage. All right, I am gonna activate
Divine Smite again?
Divine Smite again, but this time I'll just use the reverse level rather.
Very good. So you deal 17 points of damage. Yeah, so spinning on your heels and smashing through this little creature made of sand and dust with your warhammer, the brunt force of the head of the hammer bashes right through kind of its center, and it seems to completely tear apart the form of this creature. With its death, it actually is going to burst, and if you could make a Constitution saving throw, HK. Yeah, so you're fine. It bursts, the sand flies and hits against your Warforged head and arms, but it does not get into your eyes in a way that would impair you. So that creature is completely gone. Any trace of it falls down and joins the sand on the ground.
Let's move right there.
Very good. And it'll be Blue's turn.
I'll stick with it.
All right.
So, what are my options to dealing with being blind?
You can go ahead and make the saving throw again at the end of your turn. So before that, you will have to... You can take your action and movement as normal. You will have disadvantage on attacking because you are blind, but at the end of your turn, you can repeat the saving throw.
Okay, considering my low HP and my blind situation, I'm going to choose to throw my spear at the thing that's just above me. The
Sure.
sand creature that's just above me. Does that use my normal attack roll?
Yeah, since it's a thrown weapon, it's even going to be your strength modifier, so you can just roll a d20 plus 8. Although, because you are blinded, you're going to get disadvantage. So you roll twice and take the lower roll. You knew where it was before you were blinded, and even through being... oh, no, wait, you were... So you spend 15 feet, because you were knocked prone, by that critical strike from the Cyclops. So you spend 15 feet to get up back on your feet, and then just barely, based off the sounds and kind of orienting before you were tossed through the air, you can take, that throw attack against that creature with disadvantage. Yeah, so with that 19, you still hit. Your spear flies through the air and impacts right into the creature. You can make your 1d6 plus 7 damage roll. You deal 8 points of damage
Oh my god.
to the creature.
Okay, as a bonus action, I'm going to choose to use my my bonded weapon ability to return my spear to my hand.
Oh, wow, yeah, awesome.
And then I'm going to throw it again.
That's pretty sweet. Bonded weapon, is that... Oh, wait, Eldritch Knight, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's kick-ass. And, yeah, go for it. That's awesome.
So those are my 2 hit chances. So I got the 12
Yeah,
plus 8.
you got... Yeah, so you definitely hit with that again. Go ahead and roll for damage. You roll a 13 for damage, but you deal only 9 points of damage, causing the creature to perish. It explodes into a little puff of sand and dust, but nobody is close enough to be affected by that.
And then I can roll the saving throw for my blind, right?
Yes, go for it. Yep. You manage to clean the sand out of your eyes, and you look up and you see your spear over there sticking out of the ground next to Wayne.
Okay.
It is now... Well, it would be Maahes' turn, but since she's taken a nice little cat nap in the sand there, it's going to go back to this sandy creature, which is just going to Leave as quickly as possible.
Can when it's my turn, will I still be able to see it?
Yeah, you can see it high over the dune there, and it actually does come right back to your turn now.
About how far away is it?
From you, 45 feet over, but then maybe like 15 feet up, so about 60 feet.
All right, then I'm going to use... Yeah, I'm going to use Old Faithful, and I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast.
Beautiful. Wow, Blood Hunters. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Go for that. You get 2 beams.
So that's the first one? Yep.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's the second one.
That's a
Natural 20!
Yeah. So for that first one, you can roll a 1d10, and it'll take 10 in addition to that.
What is this roll for?
An Eldritch
My
Blast.
damage...
What is Eldritch Blast?
It's a cantrip that warlocks and blood hunters can get.
So the crackling energy, almost like a bolt of lightning made from force energy, shoots through the air, and it impacts this creature in the sky. Because that first one was a critical hit, you roll 9 damage, and you get a plus 10 to that, but you only deal 17 points of damage, causing the little dust creature to burst in midair. The sand flies out in every direction before falling down and joining the rest of the sand in the desert. Your second beam kind of arcs up into the air, but since it has no target any longer, it arcs back down and strikes into the sand.
That'll teach you, vile creatures.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Very nice.
I want to go wake up Mess so that she could loot.
Very nice. HK comes over and he just shakes you real quick, and that snaps you out of it pretty quickly. So from there, I mean, the Cyclops has had its appendage, its right leg removed among all the other strikes and attacks. Your smite burned off probably a good amount of its hair, and its loincloth burned down deep to the bone, worse than a 3rd degree burn of radiant damage. So the corpse is pretty mutilated at this point, face down in the sand. Although it is dead, it is still quite a large, heavy object. The corpse.
You were anxious for loot. Do you want to go check it out?
Well, I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I was still asleep.
Well, no, at this point, so HK shook you awake, and now we're no longer in the initiative order. Now it is just free action. And roll.
Okay, so... Okay, well, I want to be healed, so... How do I heal?
If you have any kind of healing potion, or you have an ally such as a paladin that could use their lay on hands.
Yeah, I can heal you. Let me pull up lay on hands.
I believe at 6th level you should have 30 points of lay on hands.
So he can heal 30
Up to
points
30.
worth of HP?
Up to 30.
I have cure wounds as well.
Either one of those would work.
So I have, if we do a short rest, I can heal myself a bit.
Yeah, nice.
Oh,
So does a short rest or a long rest? How does that work?
A short rest in-game is 1 hour, a long rest in-game is 8 hours, and they both come with their own purposes and benefits.
Are they supposed to heal?
Healing is a big part of them, yes. Traditionally, a long rest, if you're just playing, like, loose adventure rules, some people try to go, like, hardcore, like, survivalist, and they're like, oh, well, long rests want to... 8 hours of rest want to heal a broken arm, but the traditional thing is just that a long rest heals all your hit points. A short rest lasts an hour, and you can pull from your hit dice pool, and you can roll a number of those to heal yourself.
Well, technically, since I was asleep, shouldn't have that accounted as a short rest?
You were asleep.
You were asleep for like
12
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Can you heal me, please?
yeah, I'll use lay on hands on you, which will heal you for 30.
So I can heal for all 30 points.
I can heal you, 30 points.
Okay.
Nugs, how damaged are you?
I am missing 40 HP.
Woo!
I am at 38 out of 78.
Holy smokes.
If we do a short rest, I can heal for 1d10 plus 6. Plus whatever, however, if the short rest innately gives me some healing, I'll get that too.
I'll be honest, I could probably use a long rest. I expended a lot of spells for that fight.
That's true.
Well, what is it? So when we take a long rest, what is that? Does that ruin the game, or just like?
No, it takes 8 hours in game, and a lot of stuff could happen while you guys are sitting here peacefully trying to just rest. There's a lot of dangerous creatures out here in the desert, as you've found out.
But you have 2 robots that don't actually properly sleep, and will
true.
keep an eye out on everything.
Saw that. That was
Okay.
a great ability. You just
Real
stand
quick,
there.
Wayne, what is
Okay.
Wayne? What is your what do you want to do? Do you need a short rest, long rest? Do you think we should move on?
I'm more of the mind of moving on, but I'd be willing to compromise with a short rest.
Okay.
Yeah, Wayne wasn't damaged much there.
So
Also, I have ways to heal if I get to hit and kill things.
Nice. I feel like that was a pretty awesome fight. I'm pretty satisfied with that.
It was epic, yeah.
I guess for the record, I could probably roleplay this a little bit better, but if I get to kill things with my sword, you don't have to spend lay on hand stuff on me, because I will get to heal for the damage that I do.
Very good.
all right, I'm gonna loot.
Oh, I'm gonna make sure I collect my spear.
Absolutely.
How do I
You can even just wait until combat is over, and then use a free movement bonus action to teleport it back to your hand. So you move over to the mutilated Cyclops, and you begin moving through. It really seems like the only possessions it has seems to be its loincloth, which has been cut up and burned pretty bad. It has some large leather bracers that would probably fit around your entire body if you took it off its wrists, and it has its massive great club, which is about as big as any of you HK-77, even bigger than that. You search around. I mean, make a investigation check.
Okay. Oh, that's shitty.
Let me see.
I have been
2.
consistently getting below average rolls.
Yeah, so
Occasionally, yeah.
So you really just find the leather and cloth items it's wearing, its giant club. Otherwise, it seems to not even be a very intelligent creature that has many possessions. It's just kind of a wild beast.
If I have an alchemist kit, would there be any preservative agents within it?
You mean something you take from this creature that could work in alchemy?
That, or does my alchemy kit have preservative agents that I could use if I wanted to take something from him? Like formaldehyde or something like that.
Yeah. You have your alchemist supplies on you. Yeah, I guess you could have a little something like that, and you have proficiency with them. That's cool. Yeah, that works.
I would like to remove his eye and put it in a small jar of formaldehyde as a trophy.
That's fucking great. Its eye is probably, wow, at least like a foot in diameter.
Oh, then I will put it. It's a big eye.
It's a giant creature. It's a huge creature. It's a huge giant.
Take one of its toes.
What it's called. Its toes.
All right,
it doesn't have toes.
It has hooves. I'll take one of its. I'll take its thumb. How big is its thumb?
God, its thumb is going to be bigger than its eye.
Its thumb. Is it? Well, its thumb. It's longer than the eye. Its thumb is still probably like a foot long, but then maybe like half a foot wide. Are its dimensions.
Fine.
You can sever its thumb. I thought the eye was fucking cool. You would probably, you'd have to find, it'd be difficult to, preserve that if you, can't just throw it in, like, a cloth sack or, well, maybe you could.
Take a tooth or something.
Yeah, you guys are just fucking, tearing out its teeth, cutting off its fingers.
Sure.
You got a cyclops horn up there.
How big are its teeth?
Its teeth, let's see, they're probably like 3 or 4 inches tall and wide, and then maybe like an inch thick.
The shame of it is, I I would suspect the eye to have more like mysticism and potential magic behind it
Yeah,
than
the
its
Cyclops
tooth,
eye. Yeah.
which is
I want to take
what
it.
I want.
I want to take
Maybe.
a tooth and make a necklace out of it as a trophy.
Yeah, fuck yeah. You tear a tooth out of the creature's mouth. Levi, maybe what you could do is you could fresh squeeze the pulp and such from the eye, and you would get the Cyclops eye liquid, and you would get a dried
Juices.
Cyclops eye. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I could get a jar
Yeah.
of eye juice, and then I could
Yeah.
have a
That's
I could have
magical.
eye jerky.
Yeah, wow.
All right, I'll take that.
Sure. Couple good
Yes.
items there.
I'll order that to go.
Solid. So,
That's awesome.
dehydrated. Well, I guess it might destroy the eye if you were gonna juice it. So let's say you get a jar of Cyclops retina liquid. What would you call that? What's the liquid in an eye? Is there a name for that, or does that not come up often enough?
Eye pulp.
Yes.
No, eye pulp would be the eye itself.
Eye pulp. So you don't you process the eye real quick into.
So it's called the aqueous humor, the liquid that fills the inside of an eye.
So jar of Cyclops aqueous humor. If you wanna custom item that into your inventory, and I guess that jar probably weighs like 5 pounds probably,
Okay.
or maybe like
Onward?
I'm sorry, Blue. Do you want some healing before we move on?
Sure, I'll take what we're gonna do a short rest. I let's see what healing I get from that first.
Okay, sounds good. Do we want to go back to the ruined hut and rest there? That way we'll have a small amount of shelter.
Sure.
Sure.
Dun, dun, dun. To the hut. Dun, dun, dun. Okay.
Is there a roof over these ruins?
No, there is no roof. The roof has long since collapsed. You can probably see chunks of the stone from it scattered.
Okay, so if we're gonna rest here, I can sit here, HK, and look south, and you can just sit next to me and look right, and we've got our flanks covered.
There's another entrance to the north, so I was thinking this would be a pretty good position.
Yeah, that works. You guys kind of
Sure,
stand
yeah.
immobile, gently whirring, scanning.
Wayne, are you coming along?
Yeah. Playing with my inventory. This is just a short rest, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, then
So
I'm not even gonna need to really sleep. I'm gonna just chill. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend any of my hit dice on this.
how many hit dice do we have?
6.
What do you use hit dice for besides rest?
So you use them to heal during short rests. You get as many as your level, and your hit dice is as big as the HP that you gain per level. And so you get to expend, I believe, as much as you want
From your pool.
at a short rest, up to the total that you have, and you can heal for that much. And then you regain, I forget how much you regain per long rest. It's not all of them, though.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it replenishes your entire hit die pool. Let me check. But you were healed by a fair amount. With a character regains spent hit die upon finishing a long rest. Okay, the character also regains
But
spent hit die up to a number of dice equal to half of the character's total number of them. So, on a long rest, at level 6, you regain up to 3 spent hit die on a long rest. So that's
How do I know what my hit die are?
It's going to be different for each class. For a fighter and a paladin, it should be 10. For a rogue, I think it is going to be. Let me see if I can find it on the sheets here.
It says right here on
1d8.
my long rest. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can You have you're fit at 50 out of 54 points though. I would say you probably don't even need to expend one, but if you did, I would say probably just one, because that has the potential to heal you completely. That's no
Yeah,
use.
I'm at 48 out of 60, and I'm like,
No problem. So that brings you back up to 46 during this short
Okay.
rest. Would you like to expend one, Maahes?
I'm
No,
trying to use
I'm
my
okay.
second wind to heal more, but it's giving me an error when I try to roll.
Your second wind is something you can use in the middle of combat, or I mean outside of combat if you'd like. But I would say that.
Oh, it says once per short rest, so I thought I had to do it while I short rest.
Yeah, if you want to use it before you short rest, then you can regain those hit points as well, and then you'll regain the use of that after the rest.
It's a D10 plus 6. It wouldn't.
Yeah.
It gave me an error every time I tried to do the plus 6. So
No
16
problem.
plus 9, so I healed 25.
Very nice. And then on a short rest, you gain that back. You get 19 back, so that's that brings you up to 49 from your 3 hit die in your second one. Oh no, wait, 9 plus that. Yeah, you're right. That'd be
Yeah,
20.
it's the 16 and then the
25.
the D10 plus 6. Yeah.
So that brings you to 55.
I'm at
all
53.
right, fine, since everyone else is doing it. Oh
Well,
god,
you don't-
I'm not doing it.
There's no point to me resting. I didn't take any damage, so
I'm
How
not
about-
doing it.
Yeah. So how about yeah, Levi. So the two. Oh, you guys don't even have to. Interesting. So the Sentry's Rest specifies a long rest. I suppose you could do the same thing. You could just stand there inactive for a short rest while still getting the benefits. And you can both go ahead and make a perception check for while you're resting, the hour you spend resting.
I'm not resting. HK 77 doesn't need to rest this time, so
Okay, right.
I'm alert.
So you can still make a perception check, and Blue can as well.
but I don't get to since I spent an hour healing 1 hit point.
you were just rubbing.
Do I get
you're
a
just,
perception?
No. Well, I guess you weren't resting. Man, do you guys even need this rest?
Guess not.
I did.
Wayne
I was missing
just
so much HP.
That's true. But Wayne just sits there. He's rubbing his scuffed knee. He's like, ooh, Did you guys see that?
So do I get a perception check or no?
Was like, no, I didn't
yeah.
see that.
Because you're not resting. You can go ahead and make a perception check as well.
Okay. So do I get +3 on perception or no? I'm still kind of curious on how that works because I have. Okay, so I have +3.
Your perception is +3. Yeah, because you're wisdom or because you're proficient with it, and you get your proficiency modifier.
Ooh, I rolled a 19.
Yeah. So HK, although he's alert, he doesn't notice much. Just kind of the winds billowing against the walls. Blue and Maahes, you take in the scenery. You can see far in the distance the large swirling dust devils are moving around. There's not a cloud in the sky. Maybe a couple vultures pass by overhead. But for the most part, it's a fairly uneventful rest. If I could, however... Oh man, I gotta go all the way back. I'm going to need a quick roll. I need to go back and see who did the first one. A quick roll from Levi. A 1d4. Okay. So you guys watch those dust devils moving around in the distance. They appear to keep up, kind of, a few scattered out. They don't come too close though, and the short rest passes by uneventfully. Of course, you regain all those hit points and whatnot.
Okay.
All
HK,
those hit points.
Do you? So I'm currently at 63 of 78. Are you able to help top me off?
Yeah, I can do that. I'll use
That's 15 points. I can use my second wind again if I need to.
I can use a rank 1 cure wounds, which is 1d8 plus 3. It's a bit. Is that okay?
Yeah. So I heal 9. Yeah, I'll just rock that 72 HP until I get good damage again.
Solid. And how many spell slots does that leave you with, HK?
1 level 2.
Oh, you don't have any first level left?
I just used my last first level.
So you get those 9 more points, putting you comfortably at 72. Hey, nice. Levi figured out the little health bar function.
All right, are we gonna move onward?
Hurry up, you bucket of bolts.
So
Nice.
head
Okay,
off to
so-
the west.
Light racism.
Shut up,
And-
you bag.
Over that hour, yeah, nice. Over that hour,
Let's
the footprints are filled in by the billowing sands. Only a small impression of them remain before you move on.
Okay. So you said we need to go west, HK?
Southwest.
I say we push forward then.
Yep. Let's push forward at the bottom of the map. I can't get any further down on the map.
Where'd Blue go?
He's
I'm here, right?
Yeah, he's right there.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So you continue traveling southwest, those large dust devils billowing in the distance. You travel for another couple hours. At this point, the sun has set over the horizon, but after a couple hours' travel, you can see in the distance the silhouette of a large pyramid, darker than the night sky it is painted against. You continue heading in that direction as this pyramid grows larger and larger in view until you finally arrive at its base.